Okay, I'm gonna need you to bear with me through this because this is gonna be hard. Hello friends, welcome to Chickenlandia. My name is Dahlia. I'm a backyard chicken educator, also known as the president of Chickenlandia. Raising chickens has been the best way for me to find peace and joy in my life, and I want to help you find that too. So if I were to go way back to the very first real video I posted on this channel, it was about 6 years ago, and it was a video of 2 baby chickens that I had just gotten. I think the video was called Chicken Math Strikes Again or something. And one of the chickens was a little rooster named Philippe. And the other one, her name is Pop-Tart. And Pop-Tart is still here in Chickenlandia. I just kind of recorded that video on a whim. I wasn't even thinking oh, I'm gonna have this YouTube channel, but I really liked it. I really liked doing that. And so I very quickly posted another video, and that one was called Baby Rooster's First Crow. And it was my rooster Philippe crowing when he was a baby. And that video actually went kind of viral. It was the first video I had that got a lot of views very quickly. So anyway, that happened. So when Philippe was about 6 months old, he just he turned awful, and he was always attacking me. He was always biting me. It was super funny because most roosters will attack you with their spurs. They'll rear up and attack you with their spurs. But Philippe would just wait until I bent over, and then he would bite me in the butt. So I would call him the professional butt biter because that's what he would do, and it would drive me nuts.
Stop it, Philippe. Do not attack me.
So, and he was being rude to one of the ducks that I had all the time. At that time, her name was Pringles. And I just decided, you know what, I need to rehome him. So I have a good friend, and she's super sweet, and she was like, I'll take him, don't worry. I will love him. I will teach him how to be peaceful. And she's kind of has a special way with roosters. So I was like, okay. I put him in a box. I put him in my car, and I looked at his little face, and I swear, for some chickens, it's you look in their face and you see a little bit of a person looking back at you. And I couldn't give him away. So I kept him. And he stayed in Chickenlandia. So when Philippe had his first winter, I came out to the coop one day, and he could barely breathe. He was just and there was this awful rattling in his throat, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna die. I was shocked at how sick he was. I brought him inside, and he was so sick that I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna take him to the vet, because there's this point where it's past the point where it will help to take them to the vet, and I don't want him to die at the vet. So I was like, I'm just gonna handle him at home and really hope that he makes it. And so I treated him homeopathically, and he actually recovered. He seemed to fully recover, and I was shocked about that because he was so sick. But then that summer, all of a sudden he developed this mass in his nair, and he had intense swelling on his face. And this is something that he would be treated for many times. He had been on antibiotics many times. At one point, the vet removed this mass, but he couldn't get all of it because some of it was basically in his head. So I knew that someday I would lose Philippe early. I knew he wasn't going to live a really long time. Especially this winter, I was like, okay, this is it. This is the last winter I'm going to have with him. I knew it. But he was the spring came, the warmer days came, and he was actually doing better. He started to crow again, and he was chasing me a little bit. He had stopped chasing me. He had stopped biting me, but he was chasing me a little bit, and I was like, well, maybe I have some more time with him. But then in the last few weeks, he really started to go downhill. He had always been the king of the hill around here. He had always been the top dog, the top rooster. And then he started to get weak and the other roosters started to pick on him. So what I did was initially I put him in one of the little runs that I have. I have 2 little runs. Actually, I have 3 runs in the main run of Chickenlandia. So I put him in that one so he could be with his flock, but he didn't have to worry about like getting picked on by the other roosters. And then I was like, I want to have a nicer place for him. So I bought this little coop and I put him in this little coop, and it was so funny. At night, I would open it and he would run out and go and roost with his main lady. His main lady was Jessica Lang, and she's a big chicken, and he just loved her. He was always around her. That was his girlfriend. So he wanted to roost next to her. So at night, I would open the door to this little coop, and he would go run and roost with her. And then in the morning, he would run back, and I would let him in the coop, and that's where he would live during the day. And I was like, okay, I'm going to build this whole other area of Chickenlandia so that he can experience some freedom and some joy and some peace on his last days. Because I knew I wasn't going to have him for that long. But I was really holding out hope that he would make it long enough to have that experience. I hired contractors to come and build this whole other area of Chickenlandia so that he could just have that space without the other roosters and be happy and not have to worry about anything. But he just didn't make it. Like, I came in here, I walked into the coop a few mornings ago, and he had passed away. And, what makes me the saddest about that is that he didn't get to have that experience. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. I do understand that. The one thing that I'm so grateful for is that these last few weeks, I really started to take care of him. Like, I was holding him a lot. I was, taking him to his little safe spot. Like, this is going to sound crazy, but there's just these moments when you're taking care of an animal when they're sick. And even with a chicken, when the chicken is sick and it looks at you and you can see the gratitude, you can feel that connection. And even though Philippe would attack me, I had that with him, and I really had that with him in these last few weeks. I spent a lot of time being cranky at Philippe, feeling frustrated with him because he was always attacking me and chasing me. And I would try to come into Chickenlandia. I'd try to shoot a video, and here he is, biting me. And I would be like, oh, Philippe. And in these last few days, I got to hold him a lot, and I told him, even though I was so cranky at you a lot, you were a good boy, and I understood you. I knew that you were trying to protect your flock, and you were a good boy. And I told him he can come back if he wants to, because I do believe that you can come back. You can come back to Chickenlandia. So I want to tell you guys that I do have baby chicks right now. My chicken Binky is raising them. So there is loss, but there is always life again. Life goes on. And that is the beauty of the chicken yard. So that's all I have today. Let me know how you're doing. I love you all. Thank you so much for being there for me. And remember, you are always welcome in Chickenlandia.